It is only fitting that we gather here at the Missouri History Museum, where the living lessons of history are laid out before us as guideposts. 4 weeks ago, I announced my intention to create an independent, citizen-led commission to examine the underlying social and economic issues brought to light by the events in Ferguson. It was a call to action for individuals willing to come together in good faith and lead the hard work of change. The work of the commission is not about one case. The issues raised in Ferguson touch every part of our region, just as they have touched us all. They are the same issues that rest at the very core of our democracy. Today, I am pleased to introduce 16 men and women who I have appointed to serve this region and our state as members of the Ferguson Commission. They include business owners and not-for-profit leaders, teachers and lawyers, police officers and community activists, pastors and public servants. But while they are clearly a diverse group, they are united by the shared passion to promote understanding, to hasten healing, to ensure equal opportunities in education and employment, and to safeguard the civil rights of all of our citizens. They are tough, they are smart, and they are empowered. Standing with me are two outstanding local leaders who have stepped up to co-lead the Ferguson Commission. Reverend Starsky Wilson and Rich McClure have agreed to serve as co-chairs of this initiative. These two individuals, one a respected religious and community leader, and the other an effective civic, government, and business executive, only begin to demonstrate the quality and substance that are the hallmarks of this commission. Starsky is the pastor of St. John's United Church of Christ and president and CEO of Deaconess Foundation, a faith-based organization devoted to making child well-being a civic priority in the St. Louis region. Reverend Wilson serves on several boards, including the United Church of Christ Cornerstone Fund, the YMCA of Greater St. Louis, and Focus St. Louis. Rich is the former president and COO of Unigroup and is the former president of Civic Progress. He has extensive experience working on complex public policy issues, including government organizations and improving the St. Louis public schools. He currently chairs the St. Louis Regional Board for Teach for America and is on the boards of the St. Louis United Way and the St. Louis Area Council of Boy Scouts of America. First, I'd ask you to stand as I call your name. Reverend Tracy Blackman. Tracy is the pastor of the Christ of King Church, United Church of Christ in North County. She's a licensed registered nurse with over 35 years experience in healthcare and is currently a coordinator of faith-based initiatives for BJC Healthcare. Dan Isom II. Dan is the director of the Missouri Department of Public Safety. He has taken a leave of absence as the Desmond Lee Professor of Policing and Community for the Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice at the University of Missouri St. Louis. Scott Neglar. Scott is the president of Neglar Materials, which has been in business in Ferguson since 1924. He serves on numerous boards, including the Lutheran High School Development Board and the North County Inc. Bethany Johnson-Javoy. Bethany is the CEO of the St. Louis Integrated Health Network, a nonprofit that assists the region's safety net healthcare providers deliver quality, affordable, accessible care to all. Gabriel E. Gore. Gabe is an attorney and partner at the law firm of Dowd Bennett LLC. Brittany Packnett. A St. Louis native, Brittany is the executive director of Teach for America, St. Louis. She joined Teach for America as a third-grade teacher member in Washington, D.C., where she later was a legislative assistant to U.S. Representative William Lacey Clay of Missouri. Rose Windmiller. Rose is Assistant Vice Chancellor for Government and Community Relations at Washington University. She is the university's representative to the Missouri Coordinating Board of Higher Education and serves on the board of the Missouri Cures Educational Foundation. Rasheen Aldridge Jr. Rasheen is a community organizer and director of Young Activists United. He was born and raised in St. Louis and currently enrolled at Forest Park Community College. He also serves as student co-chair on the Missouri Jobs with Justice. Rasheen, thanks for your service. Graylin Tobias. Grayling is a superintendent of the Hazelwood School District. He previously served as a middle school principal in Riverview Gardens, middle school assistant principal, and high school assistant principal and teacher in the Parkway School District. Becky James Hatter. Becky is the president and CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Eastern Missouri, serving St. Louis City, as well as St. Louis, Charles, Jefferson, and Cape Girardeau counties. Felicia Pulliam. Felicia is a resident of Ferguson and Director of Development for Focus St. Louis. Kevin Albright. Kevin has 31 years experience in law enforcement and is currently a detective sergeant with the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department. Patrick Sly. Pat is Executive Vice President of Emerson, manager of Emerson Charitable, and also manager of Emerson Charitable Trust. T.R. Carr, Jr. T.R. is a former 3-term mayor of Hazelwood and is a professor and former chair of the Department of Public Administration and Policy Analysis at Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville. Issues brought to light by the events in Ferguson. Second, to tap the expertise needed to address the concerns identified by the Commission, from poverty and education to governance and law enforcement. And third, to issue a report no later than September 15, 2015, containing specific, practical recommendations for making this region a stronger, fairer place for everyone to live. It is my expectation that this Commission will maintain open lines of communication, engage the best and brightest thinkers, and provide the public with many avenues to channel the energy and goodwill that exists in our community. It is also my expectation that the Commission will not hesitate to make recommendations for positive steps that can and should be taken prior to the completion of its final report. And now, as my next act, I will sign the executive order establishing the Ferguson Commission, swearing its members, then we'll hear from its co-chairs. Let me make a little law along here. Now I would ask each of the commissioners to rise if they would, please, so I can swear you in. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Missouri, and I will faithfully demean myself as a member of the Ferguson Commission. So help me God. Thank you and good luck.